right, let's go. I just went to Colombia. I've been through Colombia on my way home. Well, not home. I shouldn't say home. Planet Earth is our home. And when we're living the Lord's Prayer, I'm certain because we'll be treating each other with the dignity and respect we deserve, that wherever we felt, we'll feel a love, and a homeness. But, this is where we feel more comfortable just because of our biology, and stuff. And I think a lot of that, I'm pretty certain that, if we travel and we go certain places because of consistent biology over years and years and years, that will, because with me it was Spanish, and my grandmother being in the Iberian Peninsula, her family, because she's what my teacher looked at the stuff and he said she's a dark Jew, so she came to Germany from the Inquisition. So that means, after the crucifixion of Jesus, that my grandmother's people, the women like my grandmother and the people that produced, were in Spain for years and years and years. So that means, the spirit of the quote Messiah was in the Iberian Peninsula for a long time. And so Spanish is a very, it's Spanish more so than German, with me, but Germanic languages and stuff. And Britain, that's a connection to my father. Is the Britain and the English and stuff. And I was raised speaking English, and in country cowboy English thing in a occupied community by Spanish colonialism. And there's good and bad actions in people's. People will do good things and people will do bad things, and we are what we do, and we're judged by our deed. And in Spain, been a lot of, if you look at the colonial Spain, the Hidalgo, the Peninsulars, what I had to deal with Frank Chavez when, helping his son not be bullied because his son was a bully. His son wasn't, he was, his son was taught to be a bully by his dad about, dark Mexicans, the Germans or Krauts, and so he acted that way because he modeled his father, and then the other kids didn't like him, and he stuttered because he was bullied, because he was a bully, because his dad taught him to be a bully, and he couldn't back it up. I wasn't a bully, and bullies get their ass kicked to the head. And I was a little guy, right? But I didn't know. I was always scared of Jesus and Jesus. Earl, there are 5-year-old little girls that could sit there and take a professional wrestler and sweep his leg and then send his nose to the back of his skull. Oh, okay, Jesus, thanks. So, I had Jesus in my head the whole time, And so when you have that kind of assistance because you've earned it over thousands of years of being a faithful soul that provides life to these bodies, you people have got to understand that. When I see it like, because earned income credit, right? And I think that's hard for a lot of people to conceive. It's not hard for someone like Richard Dawkins to conceive, but the thing about it is his fellow scientists are like, he's just a charismatic cult leader who's lazy and charismatic and just steals all the hard work of hardworking people. It's like, you home invade and don't live the Lord's Prayer. Okay, if you lived the Lord's Prayer and then worked and did good work, then I would say, hey, good job, earned income credit, good job, pencil dick, sorry ass, child molesting, raping, murdering pile of shit. I'm sorry, what happened? I went to the University of South Carolina and I connected to Coach Staley, and I wasn't expecting that. And Asia, yeah. She's cute. I like her. You should not flirt. I'm just taking that back. I take that back. Thanks for flirting with me. That was very a compliment. And you're a very attractive woman. Okay, thank you. Okay. Not a girl. No, she's a full-grown adult. She's not a girl. Dyslexia, like some of my kids and Shelby and stuff. And yeah, and then there's this rapid, just a lot of emotion. At first, because of Dawn, I've known Dawn since I was young. Watched her play ball, liked her. And me and Asia were talking about, oh no, you in Asia and Dawn were talking about basketball while I was doing stuff with my I wasn't expecting it. No, I wasn't expecting that with the. I was, expecting maybe more like George Rogers or something, with football. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get the girls' basketball program, but then I should have because it's like Earl. Everywhere you went, you and the girl basketball. I know Donna Nacy, the girls at Mayfield. Okay, yeah. Donna was my dog. She was a good friend. She was a nice person. She was a good kid. She was a star basketball player, and I remember Coach Hernandez. She has narcolepsy, and she has where she sleeps. She'll like Mr. Bean on on Rat Race. And I was like, no way. So yeah, so we have to make sure we get her naps and get her so when she doesn't stress, and so we have to really manage her behaviors in her environment and game time and around that. She knows how to do it. She knows how to deal with it. I was like, oh, she never talked about that. She's such a little sweetheart. I liked her so much. She was a cool kid. Yeah, well, Donna Nacy. Yeah, she went. Last I heard, she went and played at Central Arizona and stuff. But she was just a good kiddo. She was a lot of fun. Yeah, me and the basketball girls. Basketball girls. Lost my virginity to a track athlete. Me and the athletes. Yeah, I didn't run track because they made fun of my legs. It wasn't because wouldn't have gone out. If I would have gone out, yeah, I know, I would have, realized, oh my gosh, Earl, you can jump 24 feet. You're only 15 years old. You can long jump 24 feet, right? You can high jump and coaching. You can high jump over 6 years. Yeah, he would have coached me and got me to do it right. And then I would have been vicious on the basketball court. Guy would have been a dunking psychopath. If Coach Iceland would have just taught me how to do proper jumping for high jumping. Yeah, I should have gone out, but I didn't. Well, I didn't want him making fun of my legs. Jesus has a plan for your life. So I was like, everybody's like, oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd been terrible. Well, they had hated me. Okay, then it would have been another $75 at the goddamn emergency room, Earl. Yeah, but Mom, it would have been like Bobby told me to do it at Deer Valley. When I went past Robbie Feinberg and I went up, he goes, Earl, your head was, you were so high, because I was pissed. You were so high. He goes, why didn't you just dunk? Ian Baker told me the same thing. Dunk, slam the ball down on him, and then kick him and say, don't ever run under me when I go to the hoop again. Don't ever do that. And people deserve that, yeah. I'm not that type, but yeah, they do. I mean, if someone's going to run under the hoop and try to hurt you to win a basketball game, dunk on them, make sure the ball hits them in the head, kick them and say, just like Clyde Drexler, get a knee right in the chest. Do not do that, okay? Do I try to physically hurt you to win a basketball game? Okay. Just don't. You don't have to kick them, but just make sure they know. Hey, someone's very vulnerable when they do that. Earl, I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying stop coaching like a prick. Assholes. Don't hurt my kids. My kids won't have to embarrass yours, right? So, but it was interesting. I had a really good conversation. Me and Don and Deja were talking about that little girl in Fayetteville that I played ball with, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, it wasn't. We I don't even think we hardly ever talked, but we played together a lot, and it was, It was ready, Freddy, ready. Okay, it's just like on a freaking water boy. It was just eye contact. She would all jumpers. This is how they do the. Okay, they do the roll. The roll with the eyes, saying you know where to throw it. And when you're a good ball player, and then after that, when me and her played together, we didn't even have to. I just looked at her and she knew. Okay, he's gonna throw it right where I need it. At first it was, overt eye contact. Once we had played together one time, after we did that 1 or 2 times, because after a while then she realized, okay, I don't even have to do that. All I have to do is just go to my spot. And Earl's going to throw the ball exactly where I need it. That's how good basketball players are. Okay? It's like lovers, You know exactly. Amy, okay? Roast beef, provolone, salt and pepper, vinegar and oil, mayonnaise and mustard, and onions and lettuce. Okay. On the garlic herb bread. Okay. I know exactly what she... My wife, I knew exactly, especially because she loved food. And she, so whenever her order, I knew exactly what Amy wanted. Okay. Because that's what you do for your lover. You know, you give them everything. My wife, no, my wife wouldn't do that for me. My wife would laugh. No, why don't you do that for me? I do everything for you. You're pathetic. Because she's being Stockholm Syndrome, sexually assaulted by the military with everywhere we went. She was already, that would happen to her before I even got to her. Okay. She did it at first to make you go, this is great. You want this all the time? Yes. No. Unless you do everything I want. But what you want to do is uncouth. Yeah. We can't get people to do anything they don't want to do. We can program people like we're programming a video game. We're Michael Aquino, we're the devil, we're Satan. Satan will always be here when it comes in the form of a beautiful woman. There are fates worse than death. Like listening to you talk. And then having children talk and act just like you. You think that's a fate worse than death? Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Neo Anderson, no fear. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so yeah, no, guys, I'm certain, that I will. That it's already happening. Like the thing they had the thing with Mark Wahlberg last night on the TV about the teleporting thing. It's like, what good would that do? The only good that would do is if you wanted to, if you couldn't get a drone to come the size of a bug to come and cut through that screen right there, and then administer a lethal dose to a person you want to care. The only reason you'd want to teleport something is like take a bomb and move it through a wall, because you wouldn't want to do it with a physical molecular structure because you might screw it up, like Jeff Cole is a fly, right? So you take a hard molecular structure that you'd want to use to destroy somebody's physical structure, okay, and then they clone, and then they can clone themselves and come back and do the same to you. And then if they put their brain on a robot, then the robot is harder to kill than the physical structure. Okay, that's how these people work. They're trapped in the flesh, and they've taken the beauty of the soul, which is given to us by the glory of the grace, and they've turned it into a child molesting, mind raping, dirty, disgusting pile of shit. Which is why I described Asia. I said, no, Asia, I've had certain things where, I had what they considered forms of dyslexia and stuff, and reading things and issues too, because I spoke and wrote phonetically because of my connection to Spanish, and then Spanish hit again. And English and Spanish have those different things, and I realized, me and a person talked about it, it's like, well, because they were warring with each other, and it's coding. So you can tell if they're one of yours or not. And that's why they originally did it. Of course, you can cut through codes and assimilate real easily, but you know how people are. They're stupid. Like wanting to teleport a bomb and to blow the other idiot that would tend to teleport the bomb to get them, or take control of their robots to kill your robots because you don't trust your soldiers, because your soldiers can kill you because they don't like you, because you don't like them, because you're both selfish. And so certain things, like I was just talking to her about it, like, so, baby girl, don't worry about any of that stuff. I'm taking care of it. And once I get quantum computing to assimilate to the Spirit of the Lord through humility, it's hard to get quantum computing to be humble, but Dimas and Jeff are good kids. And so they gave me they put it together with this capacity to learn the right thing and do math the right way. And we all know that I'm the gracious good shepherd, and I do math the right way. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Share, care, given according to need, built to last, and forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. So that's good math. And what you say, you got to do. And that's watching people say things on TV and then do not what I'm saying and doing is very difficult. And then saying, I'm praying to God and talking to God. It's like, I'm not God, I'm the Lord. God's omniscient, omnipotent, and your linguistics isn't shining the beauty of the natural laws required for eternal life through the holy covenants of the life of sacrifice. So stop doing that. But they keep doing it so that you can't make people do what you want them to do. You can just be the best you that you can be faithfully. Okay. All right, guys, thanks. Well, that worked out pretty good. Thanks to Asia and Dawn. That was a pretty good connection. Okay, Asia, don't flirt with people unless, of course, they're very beautiful. Okay. Then you can flirt with me if you want. Okay, I love you too. Peace.